Time for us to get to cooking. This is a week of Chef Week that we've had, and I am very honored, and I love this guy so much. He's a great guy. Chef Robert Mcgrath, James Beard Award winner, chef extraordinaire friend. Hey, Robert, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Eddie, how's it going?
It's nice to see you, kid.
Good to see you.
You know, the funny thing about this is I've known Robert for a very long time. We've been through a lot of different things together. I have to tell you, I know we could talk forever, but I have to get into what are we going to make today?
We're going to do a ceviche, but it's going to sort of break the mold. It's not going to be the tomato-based, heavy kind of ceviche.
Right.
It's going to be all natural ingredients you see here, and it's going to be crisp. And the primary ingredients here to marinate the shrimp are going to be orange and lime and tomato and a little pineapple.
Okay, so I want you to show us what you need to do with all this, and while we're doing this, we can talk a little bit about our history and stuff like that. But okay, first, you're going to take all these juices.
I'm going to take all these juices, and the pineapple, if you have a juicer at home, buy fresh. If not, it's just simple to get some pineapple juice.
It's a lot easier to open a can of pineapple.
It's a lot easier.
Right. Okay, so you're doing all of those, the citrus, everything else. There's one thing that I see, that right there. Tell them about why you're doing that.
Well, you're going to get obviously a lot more fresh flavors, but you're also getting a clear broth. And we're using some nice big, beefsteak tomatoes.
Right.
And so what you're getting in here is actually the flavor, liquid. But it's clear.
That's awesome. It's almost like a water.
So
it's almost like a juice water.
So you don't have the big ketchup-y kind of...
or the seeds or anything like that. So you're just taking all the pulp out of it.
And then we take the shrimp. We blanch them lightly. Instead of doing them raw, we put cook them for a little bit.
Let me ask you, this is a good question. Most people say when you do a ceviche, you got to put it in raw. You're choosing to do it cooked. Is it slightly undercooked?
It's slightly undercooked, yes.
Okay.
We want it to finish in here, but, to be honest, in the business, if I was doing it at home, I would probably do it raw, but, I don't want to take any chances ever in the restaurant. So, it's not going to compromise the flavor.
That's an interesting take on it, because most people say that they want to keep it raw, but you don't want to take any chances. Now this, you got to tell them about this chili.
Well, this is dangerous here.
I know.
And normally I would be using a little bit of protection on my hands.
Right.
But I've handled these before. I don't suggest you do this at home.
Okay. And tell them what kind of chili that is.
This is a habanero.
The hottest chili pepper. Well, the second hottest.
Second hottest chili in the world. Yeah.
Have you ever worked with a ghost chili?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either. I'm kind of afraid. So you put the habanero in there, seeds and all?
Just the whole thing there.
The whole thing?
And we're just going to let that sit for a while.
Okay.
And finish off in there.
Okay, we're going to let that sit. Now, while we're finishing up and letting this marinate, we talked about some knife skills that we really haven't shown this week when we've been working. We've showed, different styles of what we cook. So could you show them a few of the knife skills while we're talking a little bit about?
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, one of the garnishes we're going to be using on this is radish. I love radish.
I love radish too.
And so it's very simple. Just make a couple cuts sideways, and then just
julienne them really fine.
Now,
is that going to be a garnish on there?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Robert, while you're sitting there chopping, you came to the Valley. We met in 1988.
Yeah.
We did the Olive Oil Council.
Right.
And I met you then, and we became immediate friends because we are fly fishermen, avid fly fishermen. But tell everybody why you came to Phoenix, because you were in Texas.
Right. I was with the Four Seasons Hotel. Barb Fenzel from Gourmet and the Grande Dame of cuisine in the Valley. And a wonderful, wonderful woman had invited Jeremiah Tower, myself, and Mary Sue and Susan from LA out to do this olive oil symposium.
Right.
And, I was sitting there on the terrace of the Biltmore, drawing the mountains. I just fell in love with it. And then we did one meal up at the Boulders, which at that time had no one up there.
No one up there, right?
So and
then you came to our restaurant one day.
Couscous.
Couscous.
Yeah.
What did you love about couscous? Tell these people, out of everything about our first restaurant, what did you love?
The ceiling.
The ceiling.
The ceiling was
this chef,
crazy.
food chef, loves it. I loved your ceiling. Anyhow, that's really kind of a fun little story. But then, how many years later you came to the Valley, had a very successful restaurant, and Roaring Fork, and has done multiple things and been a sort of trailblazer. He was the first cowboy that came into town, and this is perfect. So I just want to recap. We have the ceviche going. Up next, we have something very special to let you know. And Stephanie, you can really enjoy this ceviche, and we're going to have a special little ceviche for you.
Oh, I like little. Little is good. Little. For my big appetite, it's sometimes disproportionate, but, we'll make do.
It's going to be small, but it's going to be big in flavor.
All right, good. Very good. And that cheese, too. I can't wait till we get to that. All right, still.